Shital madam, can we start? To Shital madam? Yeah, we can start.
Yes.
Damle madam? Madam? Madam is there?
Should I start?
I'm not sure. Principal madam has joined in. Damle madam? Principal madam is on there. Damle madam?
Yes, Sheetal, please start.
Okay.
Okay. I, Mrs. Sheetal Patil, welcome you all for second session of this National Faculty Development Training on Learning Management System for COPO Attainment. For this session, we have with us Mr. Abhijit Yevle, Executive from OBE team, VM EduLife Software Services. He will talk on quality of question paper based on revised Bloom's taxonomy. Before that, let me introduce him. Mr. Abhijit Yevle has completed his graduation from Pune University. He has completed his bachelor's degree from MIT Institute, Pune, followed by post-graduation from National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, one of the premier institute of the national importance. Also, he holds a degree from National Academy of Legal Studies and Research. Is a national law university located in Hyderabad, India. Mr. Abhijit was initially associated with Research and Development Center, Sun Pharmaceuticals Limited. Later, he dedicated himself for the development of various strategies involved in outcome-based education software through VM EduLife platform. VM EduLife is a cloud-based learning platform provider for various educational institutions. VM EduLife was established in 2013. They have developed an academic management system that helps the students, faculties, and the managerial board. You can keep a record, you can keep a track of anything and everything related to academic setup with their user-friendly services. Mr. Abhijit has delivered many of the talks for OBE aspects in various organizations on national level. Now I request Mr. Abhijit Yevle to start his session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a brief introduction. So we will be starting for the today's session. So already we had one session that was based on the various aspects of this outcome-based education. Before that, Dr. P.D. Chaudhary sir and
So, yeah.
okay. Fine. Right. Now my voice is audible, I think. Right? Now my voice is audible.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Right. Okay. So thank you so much, Sheetal ma'am, for the nice and brief introduction. So today we will be discussing about the various aspects of this outcome-based education and how we can incorporate these concepts and attributes of the OBE as far as the various internal assessments and examinations are considered. Already in first half, we had one session, which was a nice session regarding again the attributes for this outcome-based education. And before that, Principal Dr. P.D. Chaudhary sir and Principal Dr. Raman Dang sir, they also introduced and elaborated the need and importance of the concepts and implementation of this outcome-based education OBE, which is absolutely a important part of what we can say for the accreditation. So this accreditation might be, we can consider of for NAC, and it might be for NB, that is National Board of Accreditation. It is required for both the agencies, and without which it will be difficult to complete the documentation both for SSR and SAR. Not only for accreditation, but this involvement of the OBE is required for the overall enhancements of the quality education at individual stakeholder level, students, faculty, the alumni, employer, etc., etc. So fine. So without wasting a time, we will start for the discussion demonstration. So in this today's session, we will be discussing about these two major aspects. The first will be regarding the overall concepts of this OBE part. And in the second part, we will be discussing about that how effectively we can use the various ICT tools for smooth implementation of this overall platform at organization level. So this is how we will be discussing. To discuss and to complete all the aspects within, might be this 90-minute session will be very difficult, but yes, for sure we will try to make it very easy. And also in between the session, if you have any queries, any suggestions, you may put the same in the chat box so that I will be able to answer them from my side. Okay, so moving ahead. So this is how that any of the organization should target for the implementation of this overall OB framework at institute level for the smooth implementation of this outcome-based education. To summarize the concept of this OB, okay, so usually if you will consider like the traditional approach and the approaches which are defined under the umbrella of this outcome based education. Okay, in case of traditional approach, usually we used to focus initially on various teaching learning methods, and if you will consider the results which were there might be through various examinations, assessment, evaluation. So those were not compared with the teaching learning processes. So more emphasis was initially on teaching learning, and then we were ready that, okay, fine. So these are the results based on our overall, what we can say, duration in the semester or that particular academic year. But if we will consider these OB aspects, here it is not like that we are not focusing on teaching learning and we are only focusing or insisting on the outcome. But first of all, here we will decide some targets or some outcome, and to achieve those particular targets or outcome, we will be redesigning, redefining the various teaching learning processes, various evaluation processes, assessment and examination criteria. So that is how, first of all, there will be certain sort of outcomes. For example, if I will consider the course like pharmaceutics or pharmacology, and I'm expecting that like 80% students should be about distinction. Suppose I have a 60 students, and out of 60, 80% students should be about distinction. This is what the outcome we are carrying, and we are deciding at the start of our curriculum, not at the end of the curriculum. And if it is decided at the initial, this is what in the language of the COPO mapping is called as the target level mapping or desired level mapping. So once this is decided, Then to achieve this particular target, which we have decided, then we will be following or we will be designing the various curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular contributes or attributes. And then that overall implementation of this OBE methods will be followed. This is how the simple definition for this outcome-based education the product where the product is defining the process. And as it is mentioned on the slide, it is opposite of input based education, where the emphasis is on the teaching and the system is happy to accept whatever is the result. But once again, I repeat, there should not be misunderstanding or any confusion that in case of OBE, we are not focusing on our teaching learning practices, but we will be focusing in relation with the outcome which we have decided for that particular course or for that particular program. Fine, that's it. This is how we can define the definition for this OB. And again, it is written on this slide that this is an outcome is what that the learner will be able to do or perform as a result of his or her learning experience. If I'm a student of engineering, if I'm a student of pharmacy, my duration of graduation is 4 years. So at the end of my program, whatever I will be learning at the end of my graduation, at the end of my 4th year of degree, that will be considered as the outcome for my overall duration of the graduation. And again, certainly there are certain pillars for this outcome also. It is not like only PO, PSO, PEO, CO. Every particular pillar is carrying certain sort of importance. And our target as an instructor, as a faculty, is that we should try and we should prepare a documentation so that we will be able to get the results of the attainment of these various pillars as on when required. Fine. So moving ahead. So finally, for example, we have decided and we have started for the implementation of this OB at our organization level. What will be the advantages that as an institute, as a faculty, as an instructor, I will be getting from this implementation? The first of all, the first thing, there will be clarity in the educational processes which are aiming to achieve and which will clarify the curriculum for both the stakeholders, students and the teachers, and that will provide a focus for a particular teaching and learning. And certainly it will not happen like within a week or within like 15 days or a month. It will take some time. It's a gradual process because it is absolutely not only teaching and learning. It involves all the three major attributes, that is, I mentioned curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular. Then, so it might be certain sort of activities for students, it might be certain sort of industrial trainings, industrial projects, different types of seminars, projects at organization level, publications, academics, various types of competitive examination, everything will be involved. And if we will combine these all attributes, then there will be a success behind this implementation of the OB parameters at organization level. So specifically, those who are targeting to face the accreditation, it might be NAC, once again, it might be NBA. So certainly now the criteria are something different. So in case of NAC, in case of NBA, but the backbone, if you will consider, so backbone is similar. Backbone is similar, only the sort of documentation that will vary as per the requirement of these regulatory agencies. Fine. Moving ahead, this is a provision of framework as per as this OB is considered. There will be guidance for assessment, how we should design, how we should conduct the examinations. It's not like that PCI is mentioning 30 marks of this examination and 10 marks, 3 questions are there, And if we will add the questions in the question paper, students will be writing the answer sheets, we will be evaluating them, and we will be submitting the results to the university. It is absolutely fine. It is absolutely fine till when we will be submitting the results to university. But next, if we are planning for this implementation of these various attributes, then that will not work. Absolutely, it will not work. The journey will be starting from extracting the questions from the syllabus. We should consider the various types of these learning levels of the student, how every student will be involved in this overall teaching learning process, and how they will be getting benefited, and how we can achieve the end of our semester or academic year in terms of this outcome. So there will be a guidance for assessment, and last, a facilitation of the curriculum evaluation. These are some of the, what we can say, the attributes behind this implementation of the OBE parameters. Fine. Once again, I request to the respected participants, if they have any type of query, because almost every college is now planning for these processes, so they can put in the chat box and we will be able to answer the queries during the presentation. Fine. Moving ahead. As I mentioned, there are certain levels of these outcomes, and those should be clarified. These are the levels which are there on the screen. I will try to uh, explain in short the PEOs, Program Education Objectives, followed by POs, then PSOs, and then COs. If I will consider these PEOs, so these are the broader statements that describe the career and professional accomplishments, and now here point to be underlined, which are expected to be accomplished within 4 to 5 years after graduation. To make it very simple, I am a student. For example, my year of graduation is 2020. Now, it is expected that I should be able to achieve the statements of these PEOs within 3 to 4 years after my graduation. Then I will start my career. I will try to implement the graduate attributes which I learned during my graduation. And then these PEOs, program education objectives, will be achieved by me within these 3 to 4 to 5 years. This is how this definition of the POs is there. And it should not be confused with the POs and PSOs. Both are totally different, absolutely different. Fine. This is what regarding this POs. Moving ahead. The next thing now regarding POs. So as a pharmacy, we have post-graduation, that is Master of Pharmacy. We have bachelor's, we have diploma. As of now, as far as this accreditation board is considered, we have already statements of these POs for diploma in pharmacy and for bachelor in pharmacy. If degree program is considered, there are about 11 POs which are given, which are prescribed by this regulatory body. And for diploma, there are total 9 POs which are given by this accreditation body. Now, again, these statements, program outcome, B Pharmacy is a program, Diploma in Pharmacy is a program, Master of Pharmacy. In that Master of Pharmacy, there are different programs. For example, Pharmaceutics is a different program, Pharmaceutical Quality Assurance is a different program, Pharmacology, Natural Product or Pharmacognosy, Medicinal Chemistry, Biopharmaceutics, these all are to be considered different programs for post-graduation. For post-graduation, for graduation, there is only one program, that is the B Pharmacy, and for diploma is a standalone program. Usually बऱ्याच ठिकाणी कन्फ्युजन होतात, काफी जगह पे कन्फ्युजन्स होते. So like courses and program, but as a pharmacy, so most of the colleges, they have these 3 to 4 programs at their what we can say organization level: UG, diploma, PG, and again in PG, different types of departments. That's fine, totally fine. Now here, we will come back to the point of this PO. B Pharmacy program, there are 11 program outcomes. For example, like pharmacy knowledge, communication skill, leadership skill, planning abilities, environment and ethics, pharmaceutical ethics, lifelong learning, etc. etc. Now, if we will consider these 11 POs, again, a point of like we can say misunderstanding or confusion at many of the places at national level. We have visited so many organizations in these last 3-4 years. It is always considered that all the 11 POs should be achieved through our syllabus. All the 11 POs, starting from that pharmacy knowledge to the lifelong learning. I'm here considering now only pharmacy because I feel that most of the participants are from pharmacy colleges. So we are considering the example of this pharmacy. But it is like applicable to engineering also. It is applicable to the B schools, architecture, and the other streams which are there. Fine. So out of these 11, there are certain POs which are disciplinary and there are certain POs which are professional. What is the difference? Now, pharmacy knowledge, this can be achieved through our curriculum and this will be achieved through our curriculum. But if I will consider lifelong learning, is the only syllabus which is given by the regulatory body will be enough to satisfy this attainment of lifelong learning? For sure, it is not. In that case, we have to involve these co-curricular and various extracurricular activities. Let's consider communication skill. Communication skill is the subject or a course which is there in the first year. At some places, it is at second year. But it is only like duration of these 4 years, only for 6 months it is there for the students to learn. Then certainly that 6 months duration won't be able to satisfy the attainment of the PO called as communication skill, and that is the reason. That is the reason over here we have to consider these co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Many of the organizations, they are frequently organizing, they are frequently conducting the soft skill or personality development programs. And through those activities, we will be able to achieve and attain the POs like this professional competency. This is the major difference, and this has to be addressed. And absolutely, this is a confusion at not all, but most of the places, that everything should be achieved and attained only based on our sessional and university examinations. No, it is not like that. Every single activity should be captured which is happening in our organization, so that it will help us whenever we are preparing the documentation for this attainment of the POs and PSOs for submission of this SSR and SAR. That's fine. So this is what the significance of this slide, that the POs, the disciplinary and professional. That's it. Moving ahead. Yes, PSOs. I think in earlier presentation, someone asked the difference between these POs and PSOs. It's very simple, but yes, as far as pharmacy program is considered, it is not that much distinguished. If I will explain this using the example of engineering college. So for example, in engineering college, they have programs like Department of Civil Engineering, Computer Science and Engineering, electronics and telecommunication, mechanical engineering, instrumentation, production, etc. etc. Now here, engineering is a broader program, and for that, board has given 12 POs. But again in engineering, there are certain departments, like for our post graduation, we have pharmaceutics, we have pharmacology, we have chemistry, we have like pharmaceutical analysis. In that case, pharmaceutics will be having certain outcome regarding or relating to that department of pharmaceutics, that formulation and development. Pharmacology will be having certain outcomes which will target or which will correlate to the department of pharmacology, like pharmacokinetics. In this way, the outcome which are specific to the program, those will be the program specific outcome. Usually, like what happens, For pharmacy, we have only B pharmacy. So that is the reason most of the places these PSOs are not defined. And actually, if you will see, so as such, there is no proper segregation in for graduation level for every department. For faculty, that might be, but for students, it is a plain graduation program. In case of engineering, it is not like that. Even for our pharmacy, for post graduation, it is not like that. Pharmaceutic students will be different, pharmacology students will be different. Likewise, at PG level, it is compulsory. Whenever you will apply for NBA of PG, then it is necessary to draft and document the PSOs for every specific department for which you will be applying. This is the difference in between POs and PSOs. POs are common for that program, but PSOs are to be defined at individual department level. The number might be 2, 3, maximum 3 or 4. If you will increase the number, it will increase the complexity of the calculation and nothing else. See, there are like most of the places, these questions arise. Ki, how many number of PSO should be there? How many number of COs should be there? So just to share with all of you, the accreditation bodies, they have given the standard guidelines. They have not specified like this specific number of COs or PSO should be there. Everything is subjected to justification. Some of the faculty, those who have joined for today's session, they might have the experience of pharma industry, the US FDA approved pharma industry. US FDA like conducts a frequent audits of their FDA approved sites. They also have certain guidelines. They also have certain guidelines. They have mentioned the guidelines. So whatever the pharma industry, those who will be facing this type of audits, everything is okay, subjected to justification. If they will not be able to justify, that will be considered as an error or a flaw, and that may hamper the quality and the approval of their overall site. The same case is applicable over here. We have to follow the guidelines. So to be specific with this slide, the number of PSO might be 2 to 4 in number, and will be depending on like the overall documentation that we are planning to submit to the SAR or the SSR. Fine. So this is what regarding PSO. We will move ahead. Last but not least, the important that is regarding the CO. Like this is what usually we can say a start of the preparation of the accreditation, designing and drafting of the COs, course outcome. So these are like designed and defined at individual course level, subject level for our program or for all the courses which are there. Okay, fine. Moving ahead. Yes, this is how the this slide will be considering as a important slide. This is what the framework of this OBE. The journey will be starting from vision of the institute. If you will see the sequence, it will start from the vision of the institute, which this is very broader statement. This indicates the target that to which level we are planning to reach. This is very broader statement, followed by mission. Mission always indicates what type of efforts or strategies we are planning to achieve the statement of the vision. So higher level will be vision followed by the mission of the institute. Now here once again, there are certain colleges or organizations, those who will be preparing and drafting the vision and mission for department also. Like department of, like once again, our different departments of the pharmacy might be Sutics, Ecology, Analysis, QA, Biopharmaceutics, etc., etc. That can be done at departmental level, or that can be done at organization level. So this vision followed by the mission, then it comes our program education objective. To revise it, these are the statements which we have to achieve within 3 to 4 years. The students, they have to achieve within 3 to 4 years after their graduation. This is how this PO. Then the POs are there and PSOs are there. POs will be already like defined, and these are prescribed by the Board of Accreditation. For us, those are 11. For diploma, those are 9. And PSOs, we have to define and design at department specific level. Then this will constitute to the curriculum, and curriculum will be again consisting of the various components, and then it will lead to the formation of the core courses. याच्या आधीच्या पण प्रेझेंटेशनला हा पॉइंट त्यांनी खूप छान प्रकारे एक्सप्लेन केला की डिफरन्सेस इन दिस कोर्सेस, ज्याला आपण युजली कोर्सेस म्हणतो, हे कोर्सेस ऍक्च्युली या ठिकाणी these are the subjects, आणि ज्याला आपण कोर्सेस टॅग करतो, those courses are the program in the language of accreditation. So BPharm is usually tagged as the course. No, it is a program. And human anatomy and physiology, this is a course which is coming under that program, and then these courses will lead to the formation of the course outcome. In this way, starting from the vision to the statement of the CO, these all attributes will be involved in this overall OBE implementation procedure. Fine. So this is usually called as the OBE framework. So if you will refer the documents which are released by Indian Institute of Science under the head of that NET, they have very nicely explained these all attributes, starting from might be this vision, mission, COs, POs, mapping, Bloom's taxonomy, everything. That's a very vast material which was released by this very premier institute, ISC Bangalore, some few months ago. Fine, that is available on the Google, that can be referred, no issue. Fine, that's it. So moving ahead, yes. Now, so I think in chat box, how to map PLO and CLO. So fine. So I will be coming to this point in upcoming slides. Okay, so how to map PLO and CLO? I will be coming back to this point in upcoming slides. There is a dedicated slide and the part of the presentation is there. Fine, regarding this PLO and CLO. Okay, on this slide, attainment of the POs and PSOs. As I discussed some few slides ago, for attainment of all the 11 program outcome for pharmacy or 12 POs of engineering, absolutely the syllabus will not be sufficient. Absolutely, syllabus will not be sufficient. We have to include and incorporate the various regular co-curricular and extracurricular activities. But usually what happens, so this accreditation is a summary and compilation of the information or the data for past 3 to 5 academic years. So again, this is not applicable to all colleges, but most of the places usually it happens. Now, for example, next year we are planning for accreditation or renewal or the first or second cycle. Then before some few months, they used to start the preparation. This should not happen. If you are conducting any of the activity in the premises of the institute, it should be compulsorily followed by the calculation of this attainment of the POs and PSOs based on the various feedback, various surveys and the criteria which are there. This will 100% assist to that institute whenever they will apply for the particular, what we can say, the accreditation, might be NAC, might be NBA. So that will be 100% beneficial. This is how the things are there. On the slide we can see, for attainment of POs and PSOs, we have to involve the courses, the projects, the co-curricular activities, the extracurricular activities also. Then together all these will constitute and will lead to the 100% attainment of these mentioned POs and PSO. This is how the things will be happening, and this is how we have to document this everything. That's fine. Now moving ahead, yes, the courses are like the core courses and electives. So like PCI, the significance of electives is now is there. So, and fortunately for overall pharmacy as a profession, the unique syllabus is there throughout the nation. So it will be 100% beneficial. That's fine. So core courses and electives are there, and we have to consider accordingly for the calculation of these POs and PSOs. The definition of CO, like what the students they should be able to do at the end of the course. This is what like the simple definition what we can say. And there is a major important aspect of any statement of the CO. we will again discuss in like few minutes that how the COs should be there and how those should be designed and structured, because the journey will start from there itself. Then we will design the question paper, then we will map the performance of the students, and that overall calculations will be available. So the COs, those should be observable and those should be measurable. Okay, fine. This is what the structure of the CO should be. I would insist over here that whenever like we are designing the statements, if it is not done till date, then it should be done now onwards. This is what is required for concrete statements of the COs or these course outcomes for any specific course. Action, this is totally depending on our learning level, learning taxonomy. It might be cognitive, affective, psychomotor. These are the certain levels which are given by this Anderson Bloom's taxonomy. See, there are various taxonomies available across the globe. It is not only the Anderson Bloom's taxonomy. There are n number of taxonomies available, but as a part of our academics, at most of the places, it is preferred to follow this Anderson Bloom's taxonomy. And that is the reason it is the so most of the time it is called as a Bloom's, but it is Anderson Bloom's taxonomy. So in these Bloom's, there are certain learning levels which indicates the learning capacity or the learning attributes of the learners, and how the learning will be happening by various our teaching learning methods. So that is broadly categorized cognitive, affective and psychomotor, and it is necessary whenever we are like designing the statement of these CO, we should compulsorily consider these actions followed by the knowledge. So last presentation was based on this only, so we will not consume much time in this, followed by the condition and the criteria. Now, there might be question ki already like we have designed the statement of CO, then how we should modify them and how it will affect our accreditation. See, you can revise the statements of COs also. For example, for academic year 2019-20, you had certain set of course outcomes. Definitely you can revise based on the results you have achieved or attained in the academic year 2019-20. You can revise it, and the revision history should be maintained. This is important. These were the statements earlier, then these are the statements at actual, and this is how we have done a gradual progress in this overall accreditation documentation. The first thing. Second thing, again the like a common question or part of confusion also we can say, especially for this B Pharmacy program where the unique syllabus is available at national level. So the question is that if the syllabus is same, why should the every institute should design the different statements of the COs at their organization level? The first question. Or at some places the question was like, university is already giving us some certain outcomes, then why should we design these separate outcomes at our organization level? Now here the answer will be, everything is subjected to justification. You may design, you may define a separate standalone COs for your own course at your organization level. I will be having those rights as a faculty. It is not necessary that university has given certain COs or outcomes and we should compulsorily follow with them. No, not at all. It is, this line is not anywhere mentioned in the documents which are released by the accreditation bodies. It is nowhere mentioned. So we have the liberty, and it will be appreciable if we will follow these criteria and will define and design the COs at organization level. That will be a concrete base, and that will be the, I will be able to justify and explain to the auditor that this is how the practices we have followed and we have designed and we have come to the conclusion with this set of course outcomes. That's fine. So this is how the things are there. To explain this, suppose like if I will, this is one of the statement for example of CO. So determine the root of the given equation accurate to second decimal place using Newton-Raphson method. And here now I want to like check that how these four criteria are being implemented in the statement. So action. What is the statement? Determine the root of the given equation. Action is a determine, which is under the level of that cognitive domain application. Determine knowledge, root of the given equation. I have to determine that root. So I will require a knowledge, and which is coming under that conceptual and procedural categories. Condition, that is using this Newton-Raphson method, and criteria, that is using the second decimal place. This is how we can structure and we can frame the statement of the course outcome. Fine. The same question which we discussed, that what should be the number of COs? It is nowhere mentioned. But yes, there are certain logics. If I have a syllabus which is consisting of 45-50 lectures, and if I will extract only 2 or 3 COs, then it will be injustice with the syllabus. Or it is not possible to extract the outcome of that 45 sessions within only 2 or 3 statements. Second side, if I will extract these 8, 9, 10 number of COs for a specific syllabus, it will create a complications in the computation of these various attainment. So again, that will be a problem. So on an average, we can consider these 4, 5, 6 COs, but again, this is like based on the content of the syllabus which we have, which is given by the university, or else if it is autonomous institute, whatever the curriculum which is being designed, we need to follow that one. Fine. So this is how the number of COs for a course. Yes. The like very, what I can say, interesting slide. So tagging the course outcome. Usually it is observed that this course outcomes, अगर इनका अगर हम लोग रोल कंसिडर करें, तो ये पिक्चर में कब आते हैं? जब हम लोग एग्जाम्स कंडक्ट करते हैं. At that time only we like most of the places, again it is not applicable to all colleges. There are certain colleges who are maintaining the standards and qualities right from the beginning. That is not the concern, but it's a common observation. So the COs, those should not be only considered during examination. Whenever we are conducting any session, any lecture, any practical, at the same time, we should link the content of the lecture which is delivered by myself as a faculty, and with what CO or the UO it is getting mapped, that should be drafted and documented over there, so that at the end of the semester, or whenever I will finish with this curriculum teaching, at that time I will be able to get a report which will be giving me a curriculum contribution and the attainment of the COs. How many lectures I required to complete this particular CO, how many practicals I took to complete this particular CO. This type of documentation will be available with me as a faculty. So it is necessary, whatever the sessions, the lectures we are delivering, that should be linked with the particular CO. There is another concept, that is the UO. If there are certain faculties, those who belong to the diploma in pharmacy program, and those are, if they are in this today's session, so they must be aware about this, the concept of this UO, that is the unit outcome or the learning outcome. Course outcomes are usually defined at whole syllabus. For example, let's consider the subject physical pharmacy. So there might be some 4-5 COs for the whole syllabus. But in that physical pharmacy, there is a topic called as the surface tension, topic called as the thermodynamics, colloids. So rheology. For this particular unit, there will be certain outcome. Those are called as the unit outcomes. And the COs are for the standalone whole syllabus. At some places, the UOs are also defined. learning outcomes are defined, it is appreciable, and certainly that will assist them for the overall documentation and the improvement in the quality of these overall teaching learning processes. That's great. Moving ahead, that CO should be tagged with the cognitive level, with the knowledge categories, with POs, and with PSOs. Then the justice to the CO will be there. If we will complete all this type of documentation for every individual single course. Fine. This is how the tagging of the CO. This the table like can be fetched, can be made available if you are using any software. So that can be made available and we can keep this documentation likewise. Fine. Setting the CO target. So this is what the basic of this overall outcome based education. At the start of the semester only, we should set certain targets for the attainment of the CO. Like I am expecting that this percentage of students should be above distinction, above first class, likewise. And then again, the whole process will move on, starting from teaching, examination, evaluation, etc. Setting CO attainment targets. Fine. And now, this slide, important slide, uh, must say because it is involving the overall examination structure, and then we will discuss the designing of the question papers and how it affects the overall OBE. Fine. Attainment of COs, and based on the direct attainment of CO, and there is indirect attainment of COs also. We usually have heard direct attainment of PO and indirect attainment of PO, but yes, for COs also there is direct attainment of COs, and although the indirect attainment of CO is optional, but that can be included as far as the overall attainment procedure is considered. Now, regarding direct attainment, we will be discussing. There are two aspects. The first aspect is CIE, continuous internal evaluation. Simple sessional examinations. We have, as per PCI, we have two sessional examination, the first sessional and the second sessional. Okay, now see, first sessional and second sessional. Now here, there are two types of colleges, tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1, these are the colleges, those who are belonging to the status of the autonomy. And tier 2 are the affiliated type of institutions. Majority of the cases, the colleges or organizations or institutions are in tier 2 category only. That is the affiliated. Some are affiliated with this university, some are affiliated with that university likewise. Now here, as far as internal examinations are considered, now here once again, what is required for accreditation and what practices like usually we are following at organization level. What is required, that first of all we will discuss. Required is whatever the question paper we are designing, we are giving to the student, and whatever the evaluation we are doing, that should be question wise analysis. There are two types of result analysis. The first one, the report will be out of 60, how many are above 50%, 60%, 70%, 80% likewise. Okay. And the second will be this question wise analysis, and this question wise analysis will be giving me the actual attainment of the COs which are linked with that question in that question paper, and then that will lead to the calculation of the POs. Now see, if you are planning for this accreditation, and if we will just imagine that now we have to do this exercise for last 3 years, then it will be very hectic. If I am the faculty, I have joined this organization this year, then I will have to also work out for the last 2 years, and that faculty is not available over there. That is the reason. Now onwards, at least, whenever we will go for this type of examinations, this minor easy aspects of the OB should be followed. So here, if you will consider tier 1 and tier 2, both the cases, this question wise analysis is possible. Why it is possible? Because we have the access to the answer sheets of the internal examinations. Now we will move ahead. What this SEE stands for? Semester end examinations. Okay, now here again, tier 1 and tier 2. In case of tier 1, question wise analysis is possible. Why it is possible? As an autonomous institute, we have the access to the answer sheets of the students. We can perform this question wise analysis. Most of the places it is like they have the access. So there might be some few cases where that even autonomous institute, they don't have the access for this question wise analysis, but majority of the places it is there. In case of tier 2, we are affiliated with university and semester end examinations are conducted at university level, not at organization level. And that is the reason we are unable to compile the question wise analysis and the CO attainment for this tier 2 for this semester end examination. So that will be based on the final marks obtained by the student, and there is no option. See, like many of the places, it is like observed that some questions are there, counter questions are there. So our internal examination is having weightage of 25%, university examination having weightage of 75%, and still we are giving more emphasis for internal examination and less emphasis for university examination for this. As of now, there is no concrete justification, and this is the usual case with almost every university across the India. Like कुछ दिन पहले it was like there were some news from some places that the individual colleges now they are trying to approach universities to get the access for this question wise analysis and all, but not sure about this. But as of now, if you will consider the approaches, this is what the process we have to follow. Once again, I'm considering PCI only here. I feel the above 80-90% faculties are from pharmacy only. So giving consideration for pharmacy as a program, we have PCI, then they are asking 25% for institute level exam and 75% for university level exam. It is okay, fine, as per the guidelines, and we have to follow it for university. So like it's not like we can avoid and we can bypass and we can prepare the documentation. But for accreditation, for drafting SAR, it is not necessary that you should go ahead with 25% for internal and 75% for external. You may go for 40-60 also, you may go for 50-50 also, but in that case we need to justify that, like what we can say, what type of extra inputs we have given for internal examination if you are increasing the weightage for that internal examination. But please do remember, it is written in the document, it is not compulsory. Go ahead with 25, go ahead with 75. You may change it, subjected to justification. These are some of the like it might be a common for some of the few participants. It might be the new thing for some of the few participants, but this is just to share because these are what the common observations and a part of confusions which are being observed at many of the places. Fine. This is how this will be happening. And what about the indirect attainment of COs? It will be based on the surveys. Surveys, the course surveys, that will be based on that. Okay, fine. So now we will move ahead. The next slide, yes. Okay, so this is the interesting part actually. Might be known to many of the participants, might be new for some of the participants. Competencies and performance indicators. Last year, these attributes are being introduced by this examination reforms under the AICT. They introduced this concept that competencies and performance indicators should be involved in our curriculum evaluation. Many of the colleges have already started. Just to share, they have shared these almost a 60-page document, 6060, which is available on the Google. We will type examination reforms and AICT, that will be available to download. In that, they have given the examples for the Department of CSE, that is Computer Science and Engineering, and for I think Department of Mechanical Engineering. So as a pharmacy, we have to prepare them if we are willing to incorporate these attributes in our curriculum evaluation. So we'll try to explain this, what are exactly these competencies and what are these performance indicators. It will be easier for me to explain with regards to this slide. Earlier, what was happening? We were having the PO. Let's consider pharmacy knowledge as a PO. Now, if we will see pharmacy knowledge as a PO and the CO, the what we can say the importance or the significance of the PO as compared to CO is not directly comparable, because POs are at program level, COs are at course level. So like for example, like human anatomy and physiology 1, this is the course from semester 1. So it is only for semester 1, but pharmacy knowledge will be for entire program. That is the reason now this concept of competency and performance indicators is being introduced. What exactly is this? These will be acting as a mediators in between these POs and directly the outcome. So the program outcome will be splitted into certain competencies, and every competency will be splitted into certain indicators, and these indicators we have to involve in our continuous internal examinations, in our projects, in our practicals, in our assignments, so that the attainment of the PI will indicate the attainment of the competency, and attainment of the competency will indicate the attainment of that particular PO. This is important, especially if you are planning to go for second cycle of accreditation. This will be required. This will be required. Fine. One of the example, like my statement of the PO is environment and sustainability. So the statement is understand the impact of the professional engineering solution in societal and environmental context, and demonstrate the knowledge of and need for sustainable development. And this will be splitted into certain competency, and again that competency will be splitted into certain indicators. This is how the things are there. As far as this, what I can say, the competencies and the performance indicators are considered. Fine. So this is regarding the PI and the CL level. Now, yes, we are on to the next page regarding this Bloom's level. Okay. There is one question: how to decide the difficulty level while setting question and cognitive level. Next slide will be regarding this only. Okay, so first of all, we will try to understand the Bloom's taxonomy, and based on this Bloom's taxonomy, we will be immediately discussing about the designing of the question paper. Okay, now the Bloom's level. See, this is a very broader concept. It is like absolutely not possible to explain it within 2 or 3 slides. There are books on this Bloom's taxonomy. There are reference articles available on this Bloom's taxonomy. It's a very broad concept, but yes, as far as our documentation part or the quality improvement part is considered, so we should be aware about the basic concepts, like what are the different domains which are there. So to explain these domains, the first domain is regarding this cognitive level. This is typically dealing with the person's ability to process and utilize the information. This slide is reference to the net material released by IISc Bangalore. And if we will consider these three images, the cognitive level is the second image, the center image. Person's ability. to process and utilize information. This is what we are prominently focusing for our regular academics. Affective, depending on the attitudes and feelings that results from or influence the learning process. The child with her father. This is based on the emotions, the attitudes, and feelings. This is the affective domain. And the psychomotor. The psychomotor is completely manipulative and depending on the physical skills, the sports. And that's also part of learning, absolutely a part of learning. Affective domain is also part of learning at different levels, and cognitive domain is also part of learning at different levels. But for us, we will be going in depth for this cognitive type of domain, and these are what the three levels, three categories, what we can say as far as these Bloom's taxonomies are considered. Some of the places it is called as the Bloom's taxonomy level, BT level. Some of the places it is called as a BL, that is Bloom's level. So the nomenclature is different, but the part is a similar or it is constant. Fine. Now we will move ahead. So here we will be going to the part of the designing of the question papers. Before that, this is how we have to extract the COs, the statements of the course outcome. Okay. And once we will, and while designing the CO, the attributes which we discussed, that there are certain parameters which we should consider while designing the CO. Those should be there. Moving ahead, if we will consider the next, yes, this is again a very, what we can say, a basic but important thing, that is deciding the desired attainment level. If we will look at the table, like in this first, this y-axis, we can see certain numbers. These are the COs, 301.1, 1.2, 0.3, 0.4, likewise. On the x-axis, we are able to see certain POs. Now, based on my curriculum, based on the syllabus which I have, we should design or we should map the COs with the POs over here on this 1 2 3 level. It's very simple. 1 stands for minimum, 3 stands for substantial, and maximum based on the content, and this type of analysis will be available. This is what we have to perform before beginning the academics, before initiating the academic. This is what the desired attainment level. It will indicate that my PO 6 will be attained and I'm expecting to be attained at 2 level. PO1 I'm expecting to get attained at 2.83 level out of 3. 3 is a maximum. Fine. And then now here it will be the part. So this is the image from the software, that is designing of question paper, how it can be done. So we will be discussing the attributes which we have to consider while drafting any question paper. Fine. So this is how we will create the exam. And now here, yes, so this type of questions might be there in our exam: single choice, objective type of question, descriptive type of question, or we might explore the facility of this question bank, the questions from the question bank, etc., etc. And then here, these Bloom's levels will be coming into the picture. As we discussed regarding cognitive, cognitive is being divided into two factors, that is the cognitive processes and the knowledge categories. And every cognitive process will be drafted into the levels like remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. These are the subsets or the levels which are coming under these cognitive processes. It is very important. And followed by the knowledge categories, that is this factual, conceptual, procedural, and metacognitive. So this is how this will be there under the head of this cognitive domain, and this is what we have to consider while designing of this question paper. Fine. Moving ahead. Now here, how the Bloom's level should be integrated. Bloom's levels are based on the keywords. If I will consider this remember, it will be consisting of the verbs like define, duplicate, list, memorize, state, repeat, etc., etc. If it is a case of understanding, it will be involving the verbs like classify, describe, discuss, explain, identify, locate, recognize, select, translate, etc. Same, these are the things are applicable for this application, analyze, evaluate, and create. So suppose I have to design a paper for my second sessional examination. My journey will start if I am using any keyword, any verb. So we'll try to incorporate the verbs which are there in the standard Bloom's taxonomy. And then I will start for designing my question paper. So that, like this hierarchy, we will see level 1 to level 6. If someone will design all the questions which are there under level 6, it will be it will be a problematic situation for the level. And like if you will consider on a broader aspect, theoretical question paper should not include the levels like create or might be evaluate also. Those should be addressed during practical work, lab work, because creativity and we can say the evaluate, these are more or based on the practical approaches. But yes, for sure, remember to analyze, we can more or less focus in our theoretical examination. But the distribution should be similar. If everything will be on analyze, evaluate level, only those students, will be able to answer, those who are doing their studies in depth, because analyze evaluate will be on a higher level. If you are giving certain case study or certain depth level, the questions which require depth level knowledge will not be answerable by all the students. So that is the reason that level should be varied in our question paper. Variation should be there. Certain sort of remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create, likewise. Then there will be a proper segregation of these Bloom's level, and it is required. It is required. Our print of question paper should indicate all these types of level. This is my question number 1, 1.1, this level, 1.2, this, 1.3, this, likewise. Okay, fine. So this is regarding the Bloom's taxonomy, selection of the Blooms, the first part for my question paper. Second, link question with CO. Now there are certain questions. Question number 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 0.4, 0.5. This every question, it should be linked with CO. Why? If we are planning to calculate this attainment of COs from this question paper, it is necessary that every question should be linked with certain CO. And then it just, I think there are some questions for year 1 student. Can we give analysis typed question? Year 1 student, can we give analysis typed question? Year 1, if I'm not wrong, you mean to say a first year student, and the question is like whether can we go for analysis, like analyze is a level 4 level, so can we include this type of question? See, we can include till certain percentage, might be first year, might be second year, third year. This is regarding the bachelor program, might be like fourth year, but a maximum weightage to any particular level will not be recommended. There should be proper segregation. Like if you will forget about Bloom's level, there are like most of the time we used to say that question paper should be like that. 33% question should be very easy, 33% question should be at middle level, and 33% question should be very higher. So that 33 we will replace with the Bloom's level, then we can summarize, or we can like design the question paper accordingly. Fine. Now here, link every question with CO, that CO should be linked. Now here, there are certain standards. I remember, I think some of the few faculty asked some few questions based on this also, like this question wise analysis, and whether we should consider the answers given by all the students, so those who attempted, not attempted, etc., etc. We will go one by one. First of all, let's consider my question number 1 is there, and there are total 7 questions in that question number 1, and the instruction is like attempt any 5 out of 7. Attempt any 5 out of 7. Now in this case, it is necessary for me as an instructor to link similar type of COs to all the 7 questions. Otherwise, what will happen? If I will link CO number 1 to first question, and if I will link CO number 2 to the second question, and out of 60 students, 30 attempted CO1, 30 attempted question number 1, and 30 students attempted question number 2, that will be variation. So the similar linking, if this is like either or, out of 7 5, out of 5 3, it is less. This is the bottom line. These are the standard practices, and we have to remember it. Then all the questions should be linked with similar CO. First thing. Okay. And second thing, this is how we are linking. We will go move ahead. Fine. That question wise analysis also we will discuss. There are certain key factors which we have to consider. Every question should be linked with PI also. These are the performance indicators. The slide which we discuss, program outcome, competency, and then performance indicator. My question, every question should be linked with the statement of this PI, performance indicator. This is required. Okay. And then this type of report should be available with me. Either I will prepare it manually, or if I'm using any software, that should be available through the software. Quality of question paper based on the Bloom's level. How much percentage for evaluate, analyze, apply, understand, create, remember, etc., etc. Okay, so this is how the reports are required for quality of question paper. Second criteria, teaching learning practices and program curriculum. Marks distribution as per course outcome. Another case, for example, I have total 6 course outcomes in my curriculum. Out of these 6 course outcomes, I have 2 sessional examination. The first sessional examination is scheduled in the month of August, and second sessional examination is scheduled in the month of October. Now here, if I have 6 course outcomes, it is necessary, if I will include and combine all the internal examinations, my all course outcomes should be addressed. It should not happen that we skip CO number 6 and we didn't address it through any of the examination. We simply skip it. No, it should not happen. If you are 2 sessional, 3 sessional, by combining of 3 sessional, all the CO should be addressed in my internal examination. Suppose this is a first sessional, so I have addressed CO number 1 and CO number 2. Again, addressing the CO, we should try for giving the equal weightage, more or less equal weightage to the individual CO. It should not like CO number 1 was given a weightage of 50% and CO number 1 was given a weightage of like 20% and CO2 was given a weightage of 80%. It should not like that. More or less equal distribution is required. This is how we will be able to design the question paper with regards to this course outcome, and this type of analysis will be available with me as a faculty, as an instructor for that particular course. Fine. So moving ahead, yes. Now this was the required slide. Okay. Question wise analysis. Now here, there are certain questions regards to this particular question wise analysis. The questions are like, if there are 60 students in the class and out of 60, 50 students are attempting the question number 1, then analysis should be based on 6060 or 5050. The recommended answer is 5050, not 6060. If they are not attempting that question, we will not consider them in that calculation. The outcome attainment is based on positive note, not on negative note. And this provision should be compulsorily there in the software, that 60 students are there, 50 attempted, 10 not attempted, marks assigned to the 50 student, and based on that attainment of the CO. That ready provision should be there in any of the ICT tool, might be in Excel sheet, might be on Google Drive, might be any of the portal you are using at your location. This will avoid the duplication of the work. Otherwise, it will be a hectic job. So the part was that in question wise analysis, we will not consider those students, those who are not attempting that question. Second, if they are attempting the question and getting the marks as a 0, then we have to consider them because they have tried to attempt that question, but they failed to attempt. So it is 0. We will consider them as a present and those will be considered in the calculations also. This is the second thing. So this is how this overall question wise analysis will be done. For this is for individual CO. You may observe here, this was my question number 1. In that, these are the sub questions. I'm sorry. These are the sub questions. And here, these are the students. If that Jim, this is the student, he has not attempted E and F, that 5th and 6th question, it is left blank. In this way, this will be done for individual question in that individual examination for that single course. If you are conducting 3 exams, those will be analyzed accordingly. Yes, those will be analyzed accordingly. And then that will be giving me a concrete structure of my question wise analysis. This was expected. That's fine. Now see, once you will be done with this, the portal will be giving you a ready-made result. You don't have to work it out. So with reference to this, like last 3-4 months where we conducted almost like 1.5 lakhs examinations on daily basis through the online portal. So once you will conduct any of the examination in online system, we should expect the ready calculations of the CO attainment. This is a benefit of conducting exams through online mode because answers will be submitted by default by the students and that calculation should be available with you. There will not be any manual calculation of the CO and PO attainment as far as the exams are online. Fine. This is how the course outcome computation for your internal examination. Same it will be for university exam. Here, point to be noted. If I will study the graph for internal examination, there is a variation in the attainment of the CO. Some COs are getting attained at higher level, some at lower level, and the reason behind is this. The reason is we are doing question-wise analysis for internal examination and not for the university level examination. That's a simple factor. So here all the COs will be considered as equally achieved without any variation. Fine. Moving ahead. Now for this, we still have like 10-15 minutes more and simultaneously we can go ahead for this Q&A session, question and answer session. So here, the next part is regarding this rubrics. Certain colleges are there which we observed they are following the strategies of the rubrics which is actually required. To just simplify this concept of the rubrics is more or less for the qualitative type of evaluation. Let's consider with one simple example that some student is delivering presentation. I am a student. I am delivering presentation and another student is writing the answer of a particular examination for 10 questions. Now for evaluation as a faculty for you to evaluate me as a presenter, as a person who is giving a presentation and to evaluate the student who is writing the answer is quite different because the answers will be evaluated directly based on the content whatever that candidate has written. And to evaluate a presentation, you need to approach and verify various parameters. For example, the body language, the content of the presentation, the time required to deliver the specific things, the result analysis, the calculation part, the overall, what we can say, the result, the compilation, etc., etc. These are the multiple factors involved. So like body language cannot be evaluated out of 5 out of 10. So these are the qualitative parameters, and that is the reason we use to implement this concept of the rubrics. Rubrics is there for this. So if I will consider these are the simple components of the rubrics: required criteria, performance indicator, require descriptors, and scaling or level of performance. Again, to simplify this slide, only two things are required: evaluation parameter and evaluation level. For example, for a person who is giving presentation, evaluation parameters will be what, like I summarize, like body language, content of the presentation, okay, time required to deliver the particular thing, how the query is being resolved. Likewise, these are the levels to evaluate. And parameters, we can keep parameters as good, very good, excellent, or poor, not up to the mark. Likewise, so body language can be easily evaluated as a parameter using good, very good, poor, not up to the mark, rather than giving marks out of 5, 3, 4, 2. Likewise, and that is the reason these rubrics are performed. So here, by using the ICT tools, you can evaluate the things like these course projects, open-ended experiments, massive online open courses, co-curricular, mini minor projects, internship, e-portfolios, etc., etc. This is how the software will be giving you the ready analysis of those all types of rubrics, and that will be there. Not only this analysis, attainment of the PO, program outcome, rubrics playing a key role as a part of direct program outcome attainment. Our every evaluation parameter should be linked with the applicable PO, program outcome, or program specific outcome is required. Definitely it is required. Yes, fine. And this is how the mapping will be there. Okay. Uh, Moving to the last, indirect attainment of these POs and PSOs, which are absolutely based on the surveys, the employer survey, the exit student surveys, alumni, activity, events, etc., etc. This is also important, and this is how the survey response analysis should be there. There might be question like there are many like tools available for conducting this feedback. So suggestion will be there, if you are using any tool, we should expect the attainment of these POs and PSOs also from that particular tool. Otherwise, again, it will be a duplication of work for me as a faculty. वहां से डेटा निकालो, यहाँ पे डेटा ऐड करो, फिर उसके कैलकुलेशन करो और फिर सबमिट करो. This type of multiple activities should not be there and which are not required. Fine. Now, within 2 minutes, I will be just sharing you how the tools will be beneficial. So just allow me a time of 1 minute. Okay. So here, by using any of the tool, you can easily like draft and document everything. Might be your online examinations, might be your feedback, might be your outcome attainment. It might be a reports of your internal quality assurance cell, the part of rubrics, the result analysis, and everything. So this is how any of the tool. This is for reference with respect to the presentation. If you are using any of the portal, we should be able to document and prepare these reports which are required for this SSR and SAR. Right. Now, would like to request all of you, if you have any queries or any suggestions, so we can discuss on those aspects. So like you can put the same in the chat box. The chat box is there. Does activity events mean sports, cultural events, co and extra? Yes, sir, absolutely. Activity events involved the various curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities which might be any of the development program, any workshop, any cultural activity which is being conducted, organized at organization level, any activity. Because ultimately, if you are conducting at organization level, there are certain aspects regarding academics, so that will be there for the computation of these POs and PSOs. Yes, this was the question, right? Okay, so any further questions if you have, you may put in the chat box. I will be able to answer.
Hello, sir. There is one question on YouTube. How
Okay.
to design multiple choice questions using Bloom's taxonomy?
How to design MCQs,
Yeah,
multiple choice
multiple
questions
choice
using Bloom's
questions.
taxonomy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so simply if you will consider these objective type of questions and inclusion of the Bloom's taxonomy, then certainly if you are including the levels like remember or understand, the straightforward questions will be there. If you are including the levels like evaluate or design or create, then we need to use certain case study, and based on that case study we need to ask certain questions which will be again in the form of MCQ. Earlier in gate examinations there were certain case studies, and based on that case studies there were certain link type of questions. Gate for pharmacy, which was conducted by IIT, so that type of questions will obviously involve the higher levels of Bloom's. And like usual questions, like if you are asking any formula or if you are asking any particular one word type of true false type of question, then those will be certainly in the level of remember or understand. This is how we can justify that, right?
Thank you, sir. There are no more questions, I think, on YouTube also. Uh, Thank you, Abhijit, sir, for very systematic, elaborative, and insightful talk.
Thank you, ma'am.
Surely it will be helpful to all the delegates who are present here.
Right.
Now I call upon Dr. Trupti Chitre for vote of thanks.
Right.
Dr. Trupti?
I think she
I
is.
think she must be having some network issue.
Yeah.
Okay, before that, would like to thanks to the management, respected management of AISS PMS, respected principal ma'am, Dr. Madgurkar ma'am, uh, Dr. Damble madam, Sheetal Patil madam. She has coordinated right from the beginning for arranging the various activities, as well as respected Dr. P.D. Chaudhary sir and Dr. Raman Dang sir for supporting this type of initiatives. Always they are supporting this type of initiatives, no doubt. So thanks to all stakeholders and all the faculty members for participating and giving us the chance to deliver the presentation and the attributes of this outcome based education. Thank you so much. Thanks to all. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Abhijit Yevle, for your lucid presentation on quality of question paper based on the revised Bloom taxonomy. I hope it must be useful for all the participants. And now I would like to thank management AICSMS for their service support in organization of this event. I would like to thank APTI for being associated with us for this program. Dr. Raman Dang, Secretary APTI, Dr. Praveen Chaudhary, Vice President APTI, for being present with us despite their busy hectic schedules for the inaugural session. I would like to thank Principal SSMS College of Pharmacy, Dr. Ashwini Madgurkar, for all the guidance in organizing this program. I would like to thank all the delegates who have made it to attend this session, and also thanks to the organizing team of AISSMS College of Pharmacy. Special thanks to the media team at AISSMS, and also thanks to all those whose names I might have skipped knowingly or unknowingly. So thanks to everyone. And I declare the conclusion of the program. Any announcements to be done, Damle madam? Please let me know anything to be announced.
Just the feedback link is posted. They can submit the feedback.
So participants, feedback link is posted. You are all requested to please fill in the feedback form so that certificates will be issued in a week's time.
Thank you, Mr. Abhijit.
Okay,
Since
ma'am.
it was Sheetal madam who was coordinating with you all the while, I did not get personal opportunity to talk to you. But your presentation was really nicely done. And it is in such a lucid and systematic manner that it is really very easy to understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks to all. Thank you. So shall we conclude?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.